Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to another video. Today is Ganyu's video. Miss Ganyu. Gentle, kind, shy Miss Ganyu. First up, we have our table of contents, our story, and demos and trailers, lore and voice lines, theories, and at the very end we wrap it up with the staple character log, where I talk about my personal opinions of the characters, their arcs, relationships, all that good stuff. So let's get into it.
仕事量が多すぎます。私たち3人もいるのに。
彼女は一体どうやってこの量を。筆性の秘書はやはりただものじゃない。
あら、あなたたちは。
Oop. Listening in as usual from the corner.
行幸様の秘書です。
Oh shit. Yeah, Paimon, that was so rude. Why is she always so rude?
旅人さん、もう何日も絶雲の間から帰ってこないんです。彼女はリーウェ七世全体を補佐している秘書で、私たちが今代わりに仕事をしているのですが、前に仙人たちがリーウェの罪を問いただしに来た件について和解はしたものの、七世は仙人への尊重の意を示したいと考えたのです。そのため関羽様を使者として絶雲の間にリーウェ騒動の近況を記した手紙を届けさせているのです。でも本当なら関羽様はとっくに帰ってきて仕事をしているはずです。
なるほど。ついでに観光してるんじゃないのか？
それはないでしょう。関羽様はリーウェ一の働き者ですから、毎年の休暇期間ですら関羽様はまだ仕事があるからと月海邸に残っているのです。そのような方が隙を見てサボるなんて想像もできません。
そうなのか。でもあいつも半分仙人なんだから無事じゃないか？
そんなの彼女のこのありえない仕事量に決まってるじゃないですか。はあ、最初は3人もいるのだから仕事場が変わるだけだと思っていたのに。
Okay. And it's more work than you anticipated?
普段の神様の仕事量が私たち3人の処理能力を超えていただなんて。
I guess it's because she's immortal that she just
自由に出入りできるそうですね。
has the energy to do that?
何回も言ってるからな。
よかった。私たちの代わりに絶雲の間に行って関羽様を探してきてくれませんか？私たちが倒れてしまう前に。
Lives are at stake.
助かりました。
That was so sarcastic.
祝風神君のところに向かうと言っていました。まずはそちらを探してはどうでしょう。もう時間です。早く戻って仕事をしなければ。
I mean, I'm assuming because Ganyu isn't in actual danger. I don't think she's in actual danger. So I'm gonna take Lumine saying that as her just being super sarcastic to those three girls. Or ladies, I should say. Alright.
釈風神君のところに行ったのか。確か奥宗さんだったよな。
Yeah, let's go check it out.
急いで行くぞ。そこで関羽に会えるといいな。
Ugh. This area is so pretty. Lasgoro, I read in his voice lines that he likes to like climb and hike and stuff. So I'm gonna have him out so he can enjoy the views. He always wanted to go to, I think, climb Liyue Mountain specifically, so he's having his moment. Ugh, look at that. Can you imagine being so high up that you're like above the literal cloud hang? Oh, I see her. Oh, she's just having a moment. What a view. Oh my god. So beautiful. Oh, and there's that beautiful music coming in at just the right time. Oh my god, I love this game.
ここにいたのか、関羽。
お二方、ここでお会いするとは。何かご用でしょうか？いえ、
私はもう属性から離れました。リーユエ校の事務的な話なら月海邸に相談してください。
Oh, what?
カンは七星の秘書を辞めたのか？あいつらはお前が帰ってくるのを待ってたぞ。
帰ってきてほしい。それがあなたたちの目的ですか？
なんでだ？一体
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut her off.
これが歴史の流れにおける選択です。この前仙人たちがリーユエ校の監視役を民に引き渡してからいつかは私もリーユエを離れる
But
の
it
だと
doesn't
悟
sound
りま
like
し
she
た。
told anybody she was gonna leave. Like she didn't file.
リーユエ校での居場所はありません。
I don't think. Wait, is there prejudice against Adepti? I thought they revered them.
私の仕事が100文、100行、100式に引き継がれていることを知りました。今回の仕事は私をリーユエから追い出す口実なのでしょう。七
Oh.
星がその機会をくれたの
Oh
なら、
no. She's so sweet. No, no,
二
no.
人は優しいのですね。
I
で
don't
も
know.
10年
I
ぶり
think
に
you're
絶雲の森に戻
misunderstanding.
り、山の間を流れる雲を眺めていると心がとても休まるのです。
No, no, no.
騒いでいるのは誰だ？
Oh.
あ、竜音釈放神君。すまない、オイラたち。
ただの冗談だ。お前たちがこの地にやってきたことはすでに知っていた。
おお、さすが仙人。
Well, this is her mountain.
カンと昔話を語りに来たのか？楽しそうに談笑していたな。おや、そういうわけではなかったのか。任せよ。話題探しはわらわの得意分野だ。この1000年の間、自分と会話することで時間を潰してきたからな。そうだ、関羽の友人たちに関羽の子供の頃の話をしてやろう。
Oh, okay.
ちょっと竜雲神君。
Oh.
恥ずかしがるな。お前の可愛い子供時代の話
聞きたいぞ。
小さい頃の関羽はな、頭の角を撫でられるのが大好きだったんだ。
She's like the proud, chatty
わ
aunt.
らわが面倒を見ていた時はいつも角を撫でて寝かしつけていた。
Aww.
その時の関羽はコロコロに太っていてな。どれくらいかというと、わらわと共に山へ登った時つまずいてコロコロと麓まで落ちてしまったくらいだ。
Cute.
ある日、関羽は仙人を訪ねてきた人にぶつかってな。それが初めて生きた人間を見た時だった。まさかびっくりして岩の隙間に丸2日隠れてしまうとは。
Oh no.
わらわが見つ
She
けた
thought
時、
humans were
泣きな
monsters.
がら
I
化け
mean,
物が出たと言っておった。
debatable. Okay, Paimon. Let's not like laugh because you're the most ridiculous.
神君。
Oh, she's embarrassed.
もういいです。そろそろ修行の時間ですので、
Oh.
先に失礼します。
ふむ。お前たちの間にあった気まずい空気を和らげようと思ったのだ
She's like,
が。
I was just bragging.
お前のせいでさらに気まずくなったぞ。
Well, maybe if you haven't laughed like an asshole, Paimon, maybe that would have not made things
それよりも
awkward. How about that?
関羽を探しに来てくれたこと、このような形であの子が絶雲の間に残ることを、わらはあの子
Oh,
に関する
interesting.
ことを話して聞かせよう。
Sure, spill the tea.
千人の中、麒麟は人獣だ。甘露を飲み、カカを食す。だが絶雲の間の仙山と仙境はあの子の人間の部分にとっては 寂しすぎるのかもしれぬ。昨夜カウンが月光に照らされた崖で一人山々を眺めていたのを見た。限りのない雲海はあの子を覆い隠すようだった。あの子は孤独だった。だから属性に帰るよう説得しようとしたのだが、その時こんな言葉が聞こえてきたのだ。
リーユエコーは絶雲の間よりも孤独です。絶雲の間で雲を眺めるのは一人でいることに対する孤独です。でもリーユへの人混みの中で感じるのは人ではないものの孤独です。
Oh, wow.
わらわは偶然にもカウンの思いを聞いてしまった。
You know, that's so
心
relatable.
の悩みとは己の力で抜け出すのが困難なもの。
ああ、確かにそうだな。一人で落ち込んでても仕方ない。あ、そういえばさっきカウンが言ってた。
あの子は戻ってきてからずっと仙人の感覚を取り戻したがっている。今は修行に備えて奥蔵山の南へ向かっているだろう。
わかった。早速行ってみるぜ。
You know, that is so genuinely relatable. Like, oh, you know what? Let me get some pictures. But the feeling of being alone, even though you're surrounded by people, that's like the worst, right? That's like the worst kind of loneliness, because you're not actually by yourself, but you're lonely even though you're surrounded by people. That's like genuinely the worst feeling on the planet. At least for me. Like, I don't feel that, like, if I'm by myself and I'm kind of feeling a little lonely, like, it's not as bad because I'm by myself, you know, I'm chilling or whatever. But like when you feel that way surrounded by so many people, oh man, that stuff gets you, you know. That stuff absolutely gets you. And you know, with Ganyu, it seems that, like, I remember when I first interacted with her, like, she came off like really nice. Like, I thought she was super interesting, really sweet. And it seems that she, you know, has remained that way. Like, she's still super sweet. And I think it'll be interesting to see how we resolve this situation, because I think the secretary position is like the one solid confirmation she has that, like, she belongs. It's like her one tie, right? It's Chen had a similar problem with, like, feeling like she doesn't belong in the human world, and Shenhe is technically human. Ganyu is actually just half, so she probably struggles even more internally about her identity and stuff. So it'll be interesting to get to know Ganyu a little bit more. Oh, we want to keep you company.
凡人が仙人の住処に長居するのはよくありま
I
せん。
don't know if Lumine's technically human, but
お二人のお気持ちに応え、少しだけ戦火での修行を体験させてあげてもいいですよ。やったー！仙人の感覚を取り戻すため、今は龍雲神君が教えてくれた修行をしています。少しあの方の趣味思考が混ざっていますが、仙人を誤解しないでくださいね。
難しいのか？
あ、いえ、旅人さんが秘めている実力は私たちにも引けを取らないものです。準備ができたら始めましょう。
alright, well, this should be interesting. Is it like a R? Oh! Ganyu! Oh, I see. Wow, her bow is so pretty. Oh, I think we're gonna have to go to it. Can we cheese it? Oh, we did! We cheesed it! Sniper 100. Oh, we're gonna have to travel up anyway. Oh well. Oh, there's a ceiling and everything. Well, shit. I'll have to come back for that. Oh, missed the frickin'... Alright. I hate these frickin' hoops. It always puts me so much higher than the actual hoop is, and I have to jump down and like eyeball it. It's just... I hate it. No! Oh, well, there's a chest down here. I think I'm gonna have to do this again, because I'm like getting distracted and like trying to get all these chests and shinies that I'm seeing right now. Oh! Yep, I knew we were gonna have to do it again. I was getting all the shinies and stuff, like I was so distracted. Wasn't even paying attention to the timer. Oh, this one's going up and down, really? Okay. I won't be able to reach that. Ooh! Oh, wait, I didn't get to look at her. Dang. I wanted to like look at her for after I was done. They took her away.
1000人だけでなく、人も同じでしょ。修行が終わったけど、カンウはこれからどうするつもりだ？まだ終わっていませんよ。
Oh, maybe we'll have another chance if this is like the first part. We get to use her again.
いいえ、私のすべての力を引き出すには、コーマ体制です。
Zhao appearance! Oh my god, Zhao! Hey! Climb on. Oh my god, why is she so rude in this freaking quest?
私も近づきがたいと思っていましたが、彼と向き合うことも隠居の大事な一歩だと思っています。
I don't think he's cold-hearted at all. Oh yeah, let's run. I want to go see Zhao. Zhao! OMG, look at him! Wait, what's this? Oh wait. Okay, yeah, this is. I read this already when I did Zhongli's quest. Okay. Zhao, look at him!
30分遅れたな。人間の悪しき習慣が抜けていないよ。
That's our fault. We made her late.
すみません。龍雲神君のところにいたので。私。
言い訳も許しを請う必要もない。我はただお前に修行を頼まれただけだ。
先生になった将は厳しすぎるぞ。
仙人でも人でもないその身を属性においては迷いが生じるのも必然だろう。修行の前にお前は自身の内側と向き合った方がいいと思うが。
That's true.
私は何も隠していません。
Yeah, I think he's definitely getting down to business.
魂に迷いが生じているときは、肉体から打開策を見つけるのも一つの手だ。我の修行では、お前の肉体に秘められた潜在能力を探る。
はい、準備はできています。
修行はする。
He said, "Focus on the trials. Stop talking to me." Wow, so it seemed there was like a second pulse in the arrow shot. I don't know what that means though. But I guess we'll find out. Oh. The weather. Ooh. Oh boy, okay. Archers are like I don't understand how they work. Oh! It like bursts and stuff. Ooh, look at that! Oh my gosh, so pretty! And it's like raining down ice shards. Oh my goodness. She summoned a whole ice storm. Wow, there we go. I just wanted to get her some energy so I could use her ult again. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's strong. To be able to freeze enemies in like that big of a range. Wow, so I've been able to get her her burst off like pretty often. Wow, so she's really strong. I mean, I don't know anything very much. I don't know a lot about the combat mechanics, but she felt like really capable.
言いつけられた修行を完了しました。
報告は必要ない。他人からの評価とお前の修行は無関係だ。修行の結果は自分自身で感じろ。それがお前のためにもなる。
はい、覚えておきます。
ショーは何に対しても独特な考えがあるんだな。
I don't think he's trying to be
修行の
mean.
難易度を上げる。お前は
お前は
厄介なやつがやってきたな。
What?
あとはお前に任せた。関羽。これも。
This is part of your training? You liar! You just don't want to talk to people. He just doesn't want to talk. Probably because of his aura too. Doesn't want to get anywhere near humans.
ところにショーの頭を悩ませるやつがいるのか？
なんと帝君のご加護のもとついに仙人と出会えるとは。
Oh boy.
あなた方はこの山の仙人でしょうか？
No.
私は神帝と申します。仙人様たち、どうか恋愛運と金運と出世運をお恵みください。お願いします。
仙人を訪ねてきたやつか。妖魔退治は得意でも。
I also like how Xiao's just disappeared. he just peace signed out.
仙人です。修行中の仙人ではありますが。
よかった。無駄足にならずに済んだ。まだ半人前みたいですが。では何を恵んでくれますでしょうか？
なかなか失礼なやつだぞ。
そこの尋ね人よ。楽な道を探すのはよくありません。仙人も無償で全ての訪問者を助けているわけではありません。
無償？つまり仙人の恵みには
I
金
don't
が
think
必
it's
要ってこ
more
と
that
です
she's
か？
talking about.
そういうわけではありません。ただ何事もそれ相応の努力と真面目な生き方が大切だと伝えたかったのです。何もせずに全てを手に入れるのは他人に不公平です。
分かっておりますとも。その話は父さんから何度も聞かされてますから。
それはあなたの父もその苦労と幸せを過ごしてきたからでしょう。あなたの年なら実体のつかめないものに希望を託すのではなく、仕事と家庭に集中するべきです。
Way to categorize. What if he doesn't want a family?
本当に仙人ですか？考えも話し方も俺の住んでいるところの人たちとそっくりだ。仙人のふりをして金を騙し取ろうとしてるんじゃないだろうな。
Show some fucking respect, bro.
なんだ?
She literally fought alongside Rex
お前も仙
Lapis.
人を訪ねてきたんじゃないのか？
言われてみれば
She's like hundreds of years old.
訪ねてきたからそうとも言えるな。
もういい。本物でも偽物でもどちらにしろ意味がないなら
Well,
山を降りる。
damn.
お前みたいなやつさっさとどっか行け。カンウ、あんな失礼なやつは気にしなくていいんだぞ。
あ、いえ、彼の態度ではなく、ただ彼の話は確かに一理あると感じたのです。 私は絶運の間に戻り、精一杯修行に励めば仙人に戻れると思っていました。さっき彼に質問されても私はでもリーエコーはもう私を歓迎していません。仙人として私は。
そうだぞ、こいつの言うことを信じろ。
はあ、わかりました。リーエコーに戻ってみます。もし私の判断に間違いがないと証明されれば、再び絶運の間に帰ります。
Well, hey, that's all I can ask, but we are right.
やっと一歩進んだぞ。
In this instance, we are right.
じゃあ戻るか。
Saying as we were literally sent here to retrieve her. Zhao! Zhao! Come back! We can't find him anywhere. He's not around anymore. He left. Okay, fine.
やっと帰ってきたぞ。
やはり私は。
It's alright.
ここまで来たんだ。まさか帰るなんて言わないよな。
そうですね。それではお二人にあまりにも失礼ですし。
ヒヒ、カンはどこか行きたいとこあるか？
ずっと山を眺めていたので、まずは海が見たいですね。
I love the sea too.
高校周辺に向かいましょう。
That sounds lovely.
見慣れた高校、そして波の音、懐かしい海風の匂い。
そんなに長い間離れてたわけじゃないのに大げさだな。
She's been protecting this place for ages, that's why.
長らくこの辺りには来ることができていなかったのです。
確かにいつも残業してたみたいだしな。
ええ、ここにいた時のことを思い返すといつも一人で机と向き合い書類の処理をしていました。絶運の間の修行と似たようなものです。
もしや関羽お姉様。
Uncle Tien?
まさかこんなところでお会いできるとは。いつも忙しそうにしているのに。
このじいさん、関羽お姉様って。
Little Miss
悪乗り
Ganyu.
しないでください。紹介がまだでした。こちらは天王寺。
問題ない。教えてやってください。リーウェの恩人だからな。正式に挨拶をせねば。
天王寺はリーウェ七世の
Oh.
天数です。
なんだって？このじいさん
Paimon,
が
oh my god. Please stop being so rude.
身分についてはどうか内密に。この高校で釣りや散歩するのがわしの最大の楽しみだ。ほとんどの人はわしを物忘れのひどい口うるさい老人だと思っている。
ご謙遜を。天王寺はお年を召されていますが、人望が厚く代わりになる者がいないほどです。
What? Ever messed with him? What the?
関お姉様にそう言ってもらえると、ここ数十年の頑張りも無駄じゃなかったようだ。
天王寺、あなたの今の立場では私のことを関お姉様と呼ばない方が。
I like that he's respectful of her
年
though.
少からの癖が抜けてなくてな。わしが七世になったばかりの頃、あなたには世話になった。
なるほど、数十年来の知り合いってやつか。
そんな七世の秘書として当然のことをしたまでです。
秘書といえば、はあ、どう話せばいいか。関お姉様、 わしの娘の慶心を知っておるな。
はい、月海亭の慶心は私の後輩です。
いや、詳しいことはわしも知らぬのだ。どうやらわしに手出ししてほしくないようでな。月海亭に行って様子を見てきてくれませんか。
喜んで。七星の悩みを解決することが私の仕事ですから。
いつの間にかキャラが戻ってるな。
That's really cute. That he's giving her like kind of a purpose. That's sweet. I like that we're getting this kind of Ganyu's kind of this, I don't know if I want to say maternal, but she's this like nurturing figure, and that like many people have come and went, you know, and this man, this old man, is thanking her for like guiding him in his younger years, even though he's like politically her superior. He doesn't like view her that way at all, because she was there for him when he was younger. I don't know, I just think there's like something really, ooh, chest. I think there's something really special about that, and like, I don't know, so greatly tied into, you know, Leeway and Leeway's people.
カウン先輩、お久しぶりです。どんなに忙しい時でもカウン先輩を見るとなぜか安心します。
お久しぶりです、ケイシン。でもそれは言い過ぎですよ。あなたが困っていると聞いたので、何か手伝えることはないかと思い来ました。
父上が先輩にお願いしたんですね。また七星の身分を利用して先輩の手を煩わせるなんて。
気にしないでください。月海亭の後輩が困っているのなら喜んで助けます。
カウンは優秀な秘書だけじゃなく優秀な先輩でもあ
Yeah,
るん
it's
だ
really
な。
lovely.
何があったのか教えてくれますか？
はい、納税に関する書類を整理していたら怪しい部分を見つけたんです。
Oh, great,
A8 商店と
taxes.
万有商法、この2件の納税状況が明らかにおかしいのに、聴取したり帳簿を詳しく調べたりしても問題が見つけられないのです。証拠がなければ強行手段には出られません。
なるほど、よくあることです。商人はいつもお金に目がくらむものですから。
つまり先輩には解決策があるということですか？
当然です。同じようなことを何百回も処理してきましたから。
She's like, girl, I've been around for a
今回は
while.
どう
I
対処
got
すべき
this.
か少し考えさせてください。ふむ。
Nothing would get past her. Like, think
今回
about
はこれ
that.
でいきましょう。
She's seen every political
A8 商
exchange,
店と万有商法は
every like
商品分類や市場区
kind
分
of
にお
person
い
trying to
て
get through
ずっとライ
loopholes.
バル関係にあり
Like
ます。
nothing would get
それ
past
な
her.
ら
それなら。
She's been around for so long.
わかりました、カウン先輩。
その通りです。まずは万有商法に向かいましょう。オーナーは確か舶来さん。
That
Hi.
dick.
So this-
Wait, I think if this is who I think it is, he's a dick. That we talked to him. We talked to him during Zhongli's quest, and he was like super fucking rude for no reason, just like unwarranted, just absolutely rude. Even Zhongli defended us because he was so rude. Yeah, this guy. He was so rude.
この前会った旅人とそちらのお二方は月海亭のものですね。何か大きな注文でもあるのですか？
考えすぎです、舶来さん。万有商法の信用では月海亭の大きな注文を受けるに値しません。
Oh shit.
仮にそのような機会があったとしても A8 商店の方に話が
何？くそ、当初のやつ、うまい話をかっさらっていくとは。
はい、A8 商店は信用できますので。おや、何が言いたいのです？
騙されないでください。あいつの腹の中は真っ黒です。あいつの納税書を見せてください。
随分と 英発商店の経営状況について詳しいようですね。
当然ですよ。あいつらに取引があるたび、俺は腹当たが煮えくり返る思いをする。あいつらが金を稼ぐことは俺が損をすることよりも辛いんです。
では、
Yeah, this guy's
こ
a
の
dick.
納税書を見てください。
よしよし、しっかり目を通しますとも。一言一句、一文字一文字漏らすことなく。あった、ここだここ。年始に半気道から仕入れた高級木造家具がありません。俺に自慢してきたことがあったんですよ。この納税書を見てください。どこにも書いてない。金は全部こいつの懐です。
なるほど。この取引に関する全ての証拠を消したのか。
だから言ったでしょ。追い詰められたあいつの顔が楽しみだ。
でも先輩、それでも口では何もなかったと否定できますよね。
ええ、すでに全ての証拠を隠滅しているでしょう。ただ半気道の方には何か残っているかもしれません。
そうだ、半気道のルージーは東証の言うことなんて聞かないでしょう。
そうだといいのですが、半気道に向かいましょう。警察層の近くです。悪事を暴いてくださり。
いやいや、当然のこと。証拠を見つけたら
警察層に行くなら私
まだ仕事が残っているのでしょ。
はい、ありがとうございます。お手数。
Okay, so this guy, I hate this guy. He's like the Otto of Liyue. Otto and Bolai, yeah, both suck. Oh.
なんか刺されってこりゃ大振りすぎんだろ。早く傘させ傘。
I love Ito's voice lines.
ようこそ。どんな用件で来たのかな。もし弟子入りに来たのなら大歓迎だ。
Oh,
警察層はかわいそうで孤独な
oh my god, Paimon is so rude this quest. I don't know what it is.
ルージー、
But she's been so rude.
ここに来たのです。
そうか。いや、気づいておったよ。七星がこのような老いぼれを気にかけるはずないからな。
ルージーは話が早い方ですね。私たちは英発商店東証の脱税の証拠を探しているのです。年始に東証がここで家具を注文したそうですが、
英発商店と
そして領収書をお借りできますか。
もちろんだが今はそれが難しい。
どうかし
ここ半気道は作業と帳簿のようなものは全部だが、最近厄介な奴らが倉庫を占領してしまってな。証拠品が必要ならお前さんたちで倉庫へ取りに行って。
なるほど、状況は理解しました。
では頼んだぞ。
倉庫を取り戻して証拠品を見。あれは
Oh, bro's just in the rain, just standing there.
リーユエ港に対して
ルージーの倉庫を占領した悪い奴らも
魔人が港を襲った事件以降、リーユフ
Well,
ァデュイと何か
naturally,
小さないざこざがあっても外交にその上、私はあの者たちの
Oh,
七星の
shit.
秘書の直感です。
それなら待つ必要はないな。
I mean, why wouldn't the Fatui have a shit reputation? I mean, are we really, is that really something that's a surprise? Oh, I'm glad it stopped raining, because this is an ice tubby. Literally my arch nemesis. Alright, Ito. Oh! His shield is so helpful, my gosh! Look at him tanking this. Look at this. Not a scratch. Oh my goodness. What is happening? Okay. What am I supposed to do about this? He should be drowning. Nice. Alright, I had to redo the fight with Yuan-Fei because the ice shield is getting super annoying. We did it really fast with Yuan-Fei and Ito.
何の計画だ?
たちがリーユエにしようとしていること、私も本気を出さざるを得ません。
Yeah. Quick, tell us everything.
本当に何もないんだ。
何もないのなら、なぜファデュイの部下が突然検索層に現れたのです？
そう聞かれると確かに不自然だが。
だが？
でもここにはラズベリーを取りに来ただけなんだ。
Yeah, right.
本当だ。気晴らしに朝から外出してた。よく考えてくれ。俺は一人も仲間を連れてきていないし。
かわいそうな目をしてるぞ。
なら、半気道の倉庫が占領されたことと。
半気道の倉庫？本当に俺は。
つまり、ルージーの倉庫を占領したのはファデュイじゃないのか。
私も。私の判断ミスです。先ほどの揉め事は。
揉め事？この女、今の総務士は絶対に俺たちファデュイの味方を。
ええ、その通りです。無論
オイラたちも参加。
くそ。
どうするので。
The Patui get what they deserve. Listen.
かわいそうだけど。
お目汚し失礼しました。仕事から少し離れ。
大丈夫だ。ファデュイ。
では。
ここが倉庫か。倉庫を占領したのはヒルチャールたちだったんだな。悪い奴らをやっつけよう。
Sus.
任務完了。
I love using Ita.
証拠品がないか探してみよう。
Okay.
これは万民堂の領収書か。机と椅子を注文してる。これじゃないみたいだ。これは王城堂の領収書だ。
The coffins. Oh my goodness.
棺桶も作ってるんだな。
All right, last one.
この証拠品を持って謙信のところに
And a
戻ろう。
chest. Nice.
先輩、お帰りなさい。本当にご迷惑をおかけし。
後輩を助けただけです。はい。これが英発商店が半気道に注文した時の領収。
ありがとうございます。これがあれば。
ええ。一緒に英発商店。
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. This is losing me a bit. The taxes thing is. I understand it's trying to show us that like Ganyu's specialty and like her ability to kind of, you know, lead certain interactions between, like she belongs here, like she has a special place and she's helpful, and like I get that's what it's trying to show us, but this is getting a little. It's not too bad, but it's like I feel like the second half of the quest is losing me a little bit. And no, it's not because Zhao isn't here.
これは月海亭の慶心じゃないか。もう言っただろう。取引の記録まだ仕事があるんだ。
わけのわからない？残念ですが早めに認めることをおす。
そんなはずはない。俺はずっと真面目に商売。
説明が足りなかったのでしょうか。
明らか。
もう言い訳もできないみたいだ。ほら、
東証さん、これを。
これは。俺は
脱税の事実を認めるのか。
はあ、
確かに。
舶来。
あら、東証さん。
Yeah. I'm sorry to be like skipping. I'm reading through it. I read faster than they talk.
はい、ありがとうございます。やっぱりカウン先輩はすごい。誰かを最もどうやってこのようなことを思いつく。
あなたの父上。
私の父上。
敵同士が互いに牽制し合うのを。それが天王寺が何年も。あなたは天王寺の娘ですから。だから父上のやり方。
そうなのですね。カウン先輩、本当にカウン
は仕事の問題だけじゃなく家族の問題も。
こんなに助けてもらったんですから、必ずお礼。
いえ、お礼なんて大げさです。
ならせめて食事をご馳走させてください。
もちろん、カウンも行くよな。
Yeah, it's Ganyu's choice.
食事くらいいいじゃないか。
食事だけなら。
God, Paimon's so rude.
やったー。
実はもう新月券を予約してあるんです。
わかりました。
It's sweet that, like, I understand the back and forth that's happening, but I feel like, oh, yes, something about it just is losing me a little bit. I think they could have definitely done more to, like, show Ganyu's importance in the city without having to take us through, like, you know, trying to apprehend someone for tax evasion. Like, I understand this is her work and, like, this is what she does. Like, normally, like, she works on paperwork and taxes and stuff like that. Like, it's very, not boring, but it's judicial work. I understand that, but I don't know. To play through it as a quest, like, taxes, I don't want to play. Like, anyway.
来てくれてありがとうございます、先輩。二人もよく来てくれた。
気にするな。
準備ご苦労様です。そんなに気を使わなくてもいいのに。
実は先輩、さっきのこと以外にもまだ。
そうですか。助けが必要。
いや、助けが必要なわけでは。
喜んで。
私は小さい頃から父上のこともとても尊敬していますが、あなたの背中を追いかけて私は月海亭にやってきたのです。
そのように思ってくれていたのですね。
でもやはり月海亭の秘書の仕事はとても大変です。私は先輩のように優秀ではありません。
そんなことありません。
数年前、私にも娘が生まれ。
天王寺は
私の影響で娘も当時の私と同じ。でも正直心配でした。でも今回のことを通して私は。
それはなぜ。
あの子が将来カウンという先輩に出会えるからです。カウン先輩は優しくあの子を導き、その情景は素晴らしいものだと思いました。だから20年後のことも先輩に頼みましたよ。
ケイシ私の存在があなたにとって。
Like, she's really, like, implemented into generations of different families. Imagine that.
立ち会いに。確かに私は何千年もリーユへの発展や変化に立ち会ってきました。でもそれはずっと私に孤独しか与えていないと思っている。ケイシ、あなたのさっきの話は
That's so sweet.
私にとってとても意味あるものです。元王帝君との契約以外にもこのリーユエ港の人々とのつながり
Yeah, you're a part of people's lives. Generationally. That's so special.
認め。
当たり前です。あなたは私の唯一の先輩ですよ。
そうですね。しっかり皆様に答えなければ。
そうだぞ。やっと元通りになったな。
仮に本当に追い出されてたとしても少し抵抗してみます。あなたの思いに応えるためにもこれからも契約を履行し七星の秘書として居続けます。
You haven't been fired though.
とにかく戻らなければ、私がいなければ事務処理も滞っているでしょう。さて仕事です。時間を無駄にはできません。
頑張ってください先輩。
もう行くのか。
Paimon, I swear to God. Oh. Oni alone at the table. Okay, I really like that Ganyu has this like connection through generations of people. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something so amazing about that and so lovely to have this like parental guiding figure that helps you, like your father and you, and then your kids and their kids. Like, I don't know, there's such a comfort in that, I think, for the people of Liyue. And to know that Ganyu is a part of that it's just, I don't know, that's awesome. Like, it's so cool. And it's like, it's such a unique thing as a character. And I know like Rexlop, you could say like Zhongli has like similar importance, but I feel like Ganyu has like a very personal stake in this. And not that Zhongli doesn't, but he's kind of, no matter how much he walks amongst his people, he's still slightly, he's always going to be slightly above them, you know, because of who he is and that he's a literal Archon. While Ganyu, she can have a much more personal touch on people's lives in the harbor, and I think that's really unique and special.
Hyakushiki, 大丈夫ですか?
見てください。
こんなところでサボっているなんて私の代わりにはならないようですね。
そんな、私たちもうずっと働いていて、
こうしてカウン様と会う前に倒れてしまっていました。
カウン様、あら、私たちはただの顔見知りですよ。
ここ最近朝も夜もカウン様が帰ってきて仕事を引き継いでくれるのを願って、
今のあなたはまるで仙人様が
以前のライバル心はもう忘れました。ただ早く仕事から解放。
はいはい。では今手元にある仕事を政務、商務、残りは私に任せればだい。
はい、すぐやります。
やっと。
あ、そうでした。もう一つ、旅人さん、感謝します。仕事関係以外で人の友人ができるのは想像以上に嬉しいものですね。仕事を終えたらお礼として私も一緒にあなたの旅に参加させてくれませんか？
Look how cute.
でも
未来のことはまた後で悩むことにしましょ
う。Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, let's jump in and read about her lore and stuff and talk about it at the end. Oh, wow. Just curled up in the sun. Cute.
Sweet flower, so called because of its high sugar content. As a food, it's not the healthiest option, but feasting my eyes on it works wonders for my mood.
So, I cannot permit you to trample these flowers.
Ooh, the music. Ooh, look at these shots.
Ice and frost.
Please don't touch my horns.
Aww.
monsters. Huh? So I was asleep? It was just a dream. All hail! Blaze over!
Wow. Ooh, she's got a really fun moveset. Like, her animations are really fun.
Given Liyue's present prosperity, it's only natural that the city's operational support should match its scale. For millennia, from the birth of the Liyue Qixing to its current roster of 7, they've all relied on the Yuehai Pavilion's secretary, the half-Qilin illuminated beast Ganyu.
Wow, she's been there from the beginning.
The most crucial matters. Although I detest deities, and have no liking for the Adepti who sign contracts with the Geo-Archon, a person like Ganyu is still deserving of my respect.
Okay.
My job is to honor my contract with Rex Lapis by looking out for the interests of all living things in Liyue.
It is said that when a Qilin is brought to fight, the sun will lose its light. Ganyu is a force to be reckoned with, an archer with an exceptional aptitude for aimed shots. Her mastery over cryo lends itself well to high-damage burst attacks.
Okay, so that was
While
the
her
double
skills
pulse
are
that I
of
was
great
seeing.
help to her and her allies during combat.
Yeah, I can imagine how that would be really OP.
Through centuries of training, Ganyu's archery has reached the acme of perfection. She excels at not only using bows, but also making them. Though she no longer needs to fight on the front lines, she still knows bow and arrow like the back of her hand. While forging bow-type weapons, Ganyu recovers a set percentage of the ores
Oh, that's
used.
neat.
Her normal attack can combo up to 6 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage to enemies. Charging the attack executes a more precise shot that deals increased damage. Based on its charge time, the shot generates different effects.
Oh.
Charge level 1 fires off an icy arrow that deals cryo
Oh wait,
damage.
so this, yeah, okay, this is the double pulsing I noticed.
Charge level 2 fires off a frost flake arrow that deals cryo damage.
Okay.
And blooms after hitting its target.
Got
dealing
it.
AoE cryo damage. Frost flake arrow's power is best used against distant groups of enemies.
Oh,
to
I bet she
maximize
just
its
absolutely
effect.
slays this boss.
After unlocking the talent Undivided Heart, within a set period of time after shooting a frost flake arrow, the next frost flake arrow and its bloom will receive a crit rate bonus.
Ooh.
Tap Ganyu's elemental skill to dash backward, leaving an ice lotus in her place that deals cryo damage.
So it kind of functions
and
like
continuously
Mona's
taunts
a little
surrounding
bit.
enemies, attracting them to attack it. When destroyed, or once its duration ends, it blooms profusely, dealing AoE cryo damage. Ice Lotus's endurance scales based on Ganyu's max HP.
Oh.
Dexterous use of Ice Lotus can effectively redirect enemy fire, creating a safe environment for Ganyu to dish out damage.
Blaze over!
That's so
Ganyu
pretty.
coalesces atmospheric frost to summon a sacred cryo pearl. While it's active,
Cryo
the sacred
pearl.
cryo pearl will
Ooh.
continuously rain down shards of ice upon enemies within a set area, dealing cryo damage. Celestial Shower deals damage while serving as a
Celestial
reliable source of cryo that
Shower.
allows Ganyu's allies
These names
to
are
trigger
so
corresponding
beautiful.
elemental reactions and further increase their damage output. After unlocking the talent Harmony Between Heaven and Earth with Ganyu in your party, all active party members within Celestial Shower's AoE gain a cryo damage bonus.
Oh,
As
nice.
an archer, Ganyu knows to keep her enemies at a safe distance and avoid close quarters combat. A constant barrage of frost flake arrows is what makes her strengths truly shine, leading her to victory.
How pretty.
Ganyu can use her elemental skill to get out of harm's way and taunt her opponents, allowing her to then fire frost flake arrows unbothered, dealing damage to groups of enemies from afar. When her energy is full, Ganyu can unleash her elemental burst to further increase her ability to deal damage. When facing more formidable foes together with her allies, Ganyu's ability to taunt and infuse enemies with cryo is an effective form of support for the whole party that allows for defeating enemies in one fell swoop.
Wow.
The Liyue Qixing has changed over generations. Centuries have passed in the blink of an eye. Ganyu's accompanied Liyue through many a storm, but Liyue Harbor itself, can this city really become a safe harbor for an adeptus in the world of mortals? When the Geo-Archon Morax was alive,
how beautiful.
an adeptus like Ganyu could find a sense of belonging in the human city. But at present, when the rite of parting has already marked his end, the loneliness of an inhuman living in the human world, will it take Ganyu over completely?
Oh wow, that felt like a loaded comment from Dane there. Almost like he was speaking from experience.
The night scenes of Liyue, the lantern light of centuries. Only I know that this rising star has come far in the millennium past. Only I remember the hours at which dew forms on the glaze lilies and disappears again.
Aww.
106,327 heartbeats. The time that has passed since I last knew rest. Packing up the stalls, closing up the pavilions. One can almost hear the street lights going out. It is as it is night after night, ever so distant from me. The night of Liyue, over. Now that you know the secrets of the night, would you accompany me to work overtime?
No way!
Alright, Ganyu is a half Qilin Adeptus under contract with the Geo-Archon Morax and serves as the General Secretary of the Liyue Qixing. Alright, let's go ahead and check out this. An illuminated beast is a creature with supernatural abilities, including heightened combat prowess, extreme longevity, and the ability to speak human language. Most known illuminated beasts are also adepti and have signed a contract with Morax to protect Liyue. Let's go ahead and read the Adeptus page just so we can get like a pretty good understanding of the groundwork here, because a lot of these terms came across as really vague when I initially encountered these terms, and they're used kind of interchangeably sometimes, or at least it appears so. So let's figure out what exactly these terms mean. The Adepti, singular Adeptus, are a group in Liyue that consists of both illuminated beasts and gods. Most of them are bound by a contract to protect Liyue from demons and evil gods, and are led by the prime of the Adepti, Rex Lapis himself. Terminology: what exactly is defined by the term adepti is ambiguous and is further obfuscated by the English localization's translation of several related but distinct terms interchangeably. Okay, yes, this is what I mean. All are translated as adepti or illuminated beast. While the original Chinese text also does not clearly delineate the terms, there is more specificity in how they are used. Illuminated mortal refers to the concept of Taoist Jian, who are people or entities with either extreme longevity or immortality, typically as a result of spiritual enlightenment. The word can take on a variety of meanings depending on the context, but in the context of the adepti, it typically refers to beings who have reached enlightenment and spiritual immortality. In-game, within the context of Liyue, this term is used to broadly refer to all types of adepti. Illuminated immortal person comprises the characters illuminated immortal plus person, people, or mortal, or plural mortals. In-game, this term is typically used for all Jian who follow Morax, whether they take beast-like or human-like forms. It is an abbreviation of the mighty and illuminated adepti. The term does not specify singular or plural and can be used to refer to an individual adeptus or multiple adepti, although plural forms of the term exist as well. Illuminated immortal beast refers to animals and beasts who have or are capable of reaching enlightenment, such as the Qilin, I think that's how you say it. Those who are illuminated beasts and follow Morax can be referred to as both Jianren and Jianshou. In the original Chinese text, humans with illuminated beast blood in their veins typically refer to their Jianshou lineage and not a Jianren lineage. There are a few exceptions. For example, when Ganyu talks about Adeptus blood in Solitary Fragrance, she uses Jianren instead of Jianshou. Her character stories always use Jianshou, though the English version consistently translate it as both Adeptus and illuminated beast. Illuminated immortal group generally refers to a subset of adepti or to the adepti as a collective. Illuminated immortal clan is used in terms that pertain to the adepti collectively, such as adeptal techniques or possessions. For example, adeptal energy or aura of the illuminated immortal clan, and the Chinese description of or for the Eye of Perception says that the weapon belonged to the Jianjia rather than to a specific Jianren. It can also be used as an honorific form of Jianren. Okay, cool, interesting. Overview. Most adepti are illuminated beasts, beings beyond the ken of normal mortals, and are often worshipped like deities by the people of Liyue, or have illuminated beast blood in their veins. Some gods have also been referred to as adepti. Morax is known as the prime of the adepti, the Chinese translation directly ancestor of the adepti, while Marcosius was also considered one. Very little is known about the origins of adepti and illuminated beasts. Morax is presumably the progenitor of the adepti in some shape or form, having personally given his blessings to grant several adepti their illumination, including Madame Ping. Some believe that they descended from Celestia and return there once they die. According to legend, humans could ascend to Celestia and join the ranks of the Adepti, and those who sought the path of the Adepti had to pass the trials of heaven and earth. The trial of earth was taken inside of the Taishan mansion, while the location for the trial of heavens is unknown. Because humans have a higher purpose than Adepti in the world of Teyvat, only those of non-human status can be referred to as Adepti. While legends exist of humans joining the ranks of the Adepti, and humans are capable of learning Adepti arts, they are not considered Adepti. However, half-blooded humans can qualify as Adepti. Appearance. The Adepti have a large range in terms of appearance, but most of them take on their true illuminated beast forms when appearing before mortals. Full-blooded Adepti are capable of shape-shifting into human form, and some, such as Madame Ping and Zhao, prefer such a form. It is also apparent that the Adepti can change the appearance of their human form. Madame Ping's appearance as an old lady is not caused by aging, but is instead said to be her own choice. She has been depicted to be in a youthful form in the past. However, other Adepti like Mooncarver take pride in their beast forms and refuse to use human disguises. So far, known half-blooded humans take on a humanoid appearance with a few distinguishing traits from their illuminated beast blood. It has not been suggested that they have the ability to shapeshift or otherwise take on a more beast-like form. Okay, this is making more sense because I originally was confused as how Ganyu and like Yuan-Fei were like half if their other like immortal parent was a literal beast. So I was like, how does that work when we're talking about like coupling? But I'm assuming that since even the illuminated beasts like Mooncarver can take on human form, I'm assuming that's how that worked in terms of like Ganyu being made, if you catch my drift. Okay, culture. Many cultural aspects revolving around the Adepti are derived from real-world Taoism and Buddhism, though within the world of Teyvat, such concepts are seen as the path of the Adepti. One aspect of Adeptal culture is the use of sacred names, also known as Adeptus names. In the Chinese version, most sacred names contain 4 characters that serve as a name, followed by the honorific title, Perfected Lord. The English translation typically renders the 2 first characters and leaves out the honorific title. For example, the Perfected Lord who carves the moon and builds the sun is rendered as Mooncarver, translating only the first part of the title. Oh, interesting. There are sacred names that use different naming schemes. Typically used by those with a special place among the Adepti. The Chinese version of Rex Lapis, the Sovereign Lord Rock King, which uses the higher ranking honorific Sovereign Lord compared to most Adepti's Perfected Lord. In a similar vein, the Chinese version of Zhao's title, Conqueror of Demons, is Great Sage who subdues demons, which forgoes the Lord honorific system entirely. In both cases, their sacred names, excluding the honorific, are also only 2 characters long instead of the conventional 4. While sacred names are associated with the Adepti, they have been applied to non-Adepti as well. The Adepti created teapot spirits like Tubby and Chubby have sacred names despite not being considered Adepti. Chi-Chi is heavily suggested to bear the sacred name Fortune Preserver, following her resurrection at the hands of the Adepti. Even though Shen He, who was personally trained by multiple Adepti, explicitly lacks a sacred name since she is human, there is also nothing stopping ordinary humans from giving themselves sacred names to pose as Adepti, as seen with Archaic Lord of Lightning and Blitz and Star Snatcher. On top of that, not all Adepti use sacred names, as seen with Madame Ping and Ganyu. The former's sacred name is Streetward Rambler, but she took on the alias of Madame Ping upon integrating herself into human society. It is unclear if Ganyu has a sacred name but uses an ordinary name to blend in with humans, or if she never had one to begin with. While Zhao has a sacred name, it is typically used by other Adepti or by humans knowledgeable about the Adepti. When Zhao gives his name to the traveler, he tells them to call him Adeptus Zhao. Powers and abilities. All Adepti possess the ability to manipulate elemental energy, which mortals equate to having a vision. This led to the three-eyed part of the Adepti's full Chinese title. It is unclear whether the Adepti's ability to manipulate elemental energy follows the same rules as humans. For example, beasts like Adepti do not have visions located externally on their bodies, leading humans to conclude that they possess inner eyes located within their bodies and are not visible on their bodies. Oh, interesting. Zhao wears a vision because he appears in a human-like form and thus follows human convention, and whether his vision is the same as humans has been left ambiguous. Adepti possess adeptal energy that has a unique effect based on the individual. When the Traveler was infused with 3 Adepti's energies, Madame Ping's created intermittent shock waves upon attacking, Ganyu's granted passive healing, and Zhao's increased movement speed. It is unclear whether adeptal energy is linked to their third eye, or if it is an independent power. For normal humans, prolonged interaction with adepti will become dangerous, as their souls are not as robust and adeptal energy will overwhelm them with enough time. When a dying Chi-Chi was infused with several adepti's energies, it was powerful enough to prevent her from fully dying, but because it was too much for a mortal to bear, sent her on a rampage that was only stopped by trapping her in amber for hundreds of years. What? Okay, Chi-Chi lore, I didn't know that. Even after hundreds of years, she is still capable of manipulating that adeptal energy as a zombie. According to Liyue beliefs, adepti formed the landscape. For example, rivers are adepti saliva, while grass is adepti hair. Mountain Shaper denies those claims as nonsense and explains that the amber found on Mount Hulao is in fact created by a plant called the karst crowler. However, he is capable of controlling the plant to a certain degree and has to make sure the plant will not trap innocent beings before he leaves the area. Adepti are capable of creating domains, known as abodes, through subspace creation for their personal use, even granting them different forms such as teapots. This ability was granted by Rex Lapis and is part of the illumination in Mighty and Illuminated Adepti. Oh, he gave them that ability. Interesting. There are several esoteric techniques used by the Adepti. One of them is the gifting of dreams and visions used by Zhang Li to inform the other Adepti and the Liyue Qixing that Morax had not actually died, but had chosen to retire from his role. Oh. Another is Dream Trawler, which is primarily used to separate the soul from the body for self-cultivation, but can also be used to summon another's spirit. Zhao and the Traveler use it to summon Star Snatcher's spirit. Pervases uses mortal lingering to temporarily regain a physical vessel. Story before and during the Archon War. It is unclear how long the Adepti have existed as a formally recognized group, but they were said to have fought for Guizhong and Morax during the Archon War to defend the Guili Assembly, and Cloud Retainer was friends with them before the fall of the Guili Assembly. After the destruction of the Guili Assembly, Morax led his Adepti and his people south of Mount Tianhang, where he established Liyue Harbor. There, the Adepti signed a contract with him to protect Liyue. At some point during the war, Morax gathered the Yakshas, particularly belligerent illuminated beasts, to assist him in the task of subduing the remnants of the other gods defeated during the war. During a battle between Adepti and demons, Chi-Chi trespassed the realm of Adepti by mistake while picking herbs and was mortally wounded in the crossfire. The Adepti came together to rescue her as a zombie by imbuing her with their powers. Interesting. Present, since the end of the Archon War 2,000 years ago, with their immense strength no longer needed to fight the gods that opposed Morax, most Adepti have gone into seclusion, cut off from the rest of the world and watching over Liyue from afar. This land is considered sacred and mortals are not to set foot in it. Those that do enter are considered either brave or desperate. Allegedly, only mortals with a sigil of permission in their possession are granted access to enter without offending the Adepti. However, several NPCs can be found in the Adepti's lands without having come to any harm, though they have not been granted audience with the Adepti in return. According to legend, some Adepti decided that they did not want to wait around for their lives to come to a natural end and asked Morax to transform them into stone statues. It is said that these stone statues are capable of moving around even in this state. Some Adepti stayed in Liyue Harbor to assist the Liyue Qixing in managing their nation's affairs. I'm assuming like Ganyu. However, by the events of Chapter 1, they have long been excluded from Liyue's politics, with the exception of, Ganyu, who serves as a general secretary. Although it has become simplified over time and is beginning to fade into obscurity, it is a Liyue tradition to mark the passing of every Adeptus with a memorial service called the Rite of Parting. This service is handled by the funeral parlor, though they have only had to host this service a handful of times throughout the past 3,000 years. Known Adepti, okay, we know this. Rex Lapis, the Mining Illuminated Adepti, Cloud Retainer, Mooncarver, okay. Sky Racer, Sea Gazer, Ganyu, Yanfei's father, who we have yet to meet. Guardian Yakshas. The Guardian Yakshas were elite Adepti summoned by the Geo Archon Rex Lapis to fight the demons that spawned from the remains of defeated gods after the Archon War. There were many Yakshas, however, 5 of them were recognized as the strongest. Bosacius in Darius, Bonanus, okay, Menogius, and Alatus. Yakshas, though strong, were not at all able to handle the darkness they faced. It's said that some were given unto their rage, others unto a madness which fear mongered. Many turned to the slaughter of their own, others were bewitched by shadows of the soul. In the end, all but Alatus either perished or disappeared by the time of the game's start. Oh my goodness. Okay. Chi-Chi, Shenhe, Yanfei, Marcosius. Don't know who that is yet. Guizong. Oh, Kamuna Haranosuke. Haranusake. Kuru. Oh. A lot more than I originally. There's a couple of names I didn't know. I didn't expect that. Alright, trivia. The concept for the Adepti came from the Chinese novel Journey to the West, in which it is stated that all beings in the upper worlds that have 9 apertures can become immortals. This statement is used to justify treating the main character, the monkey Sun Wukong, equal to a human in his ability to cultivate the way of immortality, and it is tied to the reason why most of the Adepti have animal-like forms. The weapon Eye of Perception is said to be of Adepti origin, which was passed on to the Yuan family, who proceeded to create the prototype weapons. Oh, cool. The Chinese name for Seelie, fairy spirit, uses the same characters in their name for Adepti. However, it likely uses the fairy definition for the term rather than the illuminated immortal definition. Oh, and there has currently been no direct connection made between Seelie and Adepti. When Ye Miko calls herself a fox envoy, she calls herself a fox xian in the original Chinese text, which is interesting considering other instances of fox envoy in the English text correspond with the Chinese term fox god envoy instead. The characters are more directly translated as fox spirits in Kaede's dialogue. The achievement Mighty and Illuminated Wave Rider cheekily names the Wave Rider or the perfected lord who rides the wind and splits the waves. Etymology. The Adepti are synonymous with the Xian, Taoist immortals, and are referred to as such in the Chinese and Japanese versions of the game. In English, those who dedicate their lives to practicing Taoism are often called Taoist Adeptus. Adepts, which is where the term Adeptus, Adepti in the English localization derives from. In Chinese and in some translations other than English, their titles include the honorific title Perfected Lord, typically given to Taoist immortals. Oh. Cool. Alright then, let's back up to the Illuminated Beast page. Now that we have the groundwork, we can kind of differentiate Illuminated Beasts and Adepti maybe a little bit. Okay, so we read this first bit. Overview. Little is known about the origins of illuminated beasts, or what being an illuminated beast entails due to their conflation with Adepti. Madame Peng mentions that the adeptal arts taught to them by Morax were part of their illumination, which suggests that not all illuminated beasts are born illuminated. I've never said illuminated more in a single paragraph in my life. Further supporting this idea is the fact that Cloud Retainer and Mountain Shaper are both cranes, but various species of cranes can be hunted like regular animals and display no sign of illumination. Full-blooded illuminated beasts can shapeshift into human forms and create offspring with mortal humans. Such half-blooded children will be humanoid with few non-human traits indicating their illuminated beast heritage. It is unclear how their illuminated beast heritage will affect their growth, aging, or mystical abilities, if at all. Of the two currently known cases, Ganyu is old enough to witness the fall of the Guili Assembly and the rise of Liyue Harbor 3,700 years ago. Yet she has the stature of a teenager. On the other hand, Yanfei has the stature of a teenager, but she is young enough that her mortal mother is still alive and traveling with her father, a full-blooded Adeptus. Oh shit, wait, her mom's still alive too. And with her father. Oh, okay. I wonder if we'll ever learn about them. I'm like so curious. Known illuminated beast types. Mammalian? The following types of illuminated beasts are depicted in game to have mostly mammalian features. The Qilin. The Qilin are gentle creatures who refuse to harm any animal, living a vegetarian lifestyle with fur as soft as clouds. However, when they do not live in times of peace, they will fight. Ganyu is half Qilin. Actually, let me click on this for a second. Qilin. Oh, wow. I won't read all of this, but the Qilin is a legendary hooved chimerical creature that appears in Chinese mythology and is said to appear with the imminent arrival or passing of a sage or illustrious ruler. Qilin are a specific type of the Lin mythological family of one-horned beasts. The Qilin also appears in the mythologies of other cultures such as Japanese and Korean mythology, where it is known as the Qilin, and Vietnamese mythology, where it is known as the Qilin. Oh gosh, I'm probably pronouncing these wrong. It's like a chimera unicorn thing. Got it. Okay. Okay, next. Oh, Shai-Chi? No other instances of this beast has been observed in Teyvat lore with the exception for Yanfei, who is half Shai-Chi, and her father, who is implied to be a full-blooded one. Shai-Chi have not been described in-game, but have appeared as an ornament on Yanfei's stamper. The creature is depicted to be a goat or deer-like in appearance, with a pair of antlers behind the ears and a fluffy coat. Oh, okay, cool. Deer-like, two known illuminated beasts take the form of deer, Mooncarver and Skybracer. Avian, okay, crane-like. A number of illuminated beasts are known to take the form of cranes, Cloud Retainer, Mountain Shaper, and the Yaksha Pervases. Unknown taxon? Zhao's avian beast form has been teased in his character design, his constellation, and his Yaksha alias Alatus. It is implied that he takes on the form of Garuda, a Hindu demigod, or Peng, can be seen in the Chinese translation of Alatus, a creature present in both Chinese and Buddhist mythos. In some lines of Genshin Impact merchandise, stylized depictions of Zhao's avian form has been shown. The bird form appears to be finch-like, though this is inconclusive due to stylization. Its plumage features multiple shades of teal, reddish eyes, and Zhao's purple diamond symbol on its forehead. Oh, okay, wait, let's look at this. Garuda. Okay. Hindu demigod who is primarily depicted as the mount of the Hindu god Vishnu. This divine creature is mentioned in the Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain faiths. Garuda is also the half-brother of the Devas Gandharvas, Daityas, Danavas, Nagas, Vanara, and Yakshas. He is the son of the sage Kashyapa and Vinata. He is the younger brother of Aruna, the charioteer of the sun. Garuda is mentioned in several other texts, such as the Puranas and the Vedas, god of strength and vigilance. Okay, I probably absolutely butchered all of those beautiful names, but it's cool to see where the origin of his form kind of comes from. And let's go ahead and look at Peng as well, and see what that is about. Peng, or Peng, is a giant bird that transformed from a kun, giant fish in Chinese mythology. The Chinese logograms for Peng and kun are radical phonetic characters. Peng combines the bird radical with the phonetic Peng, friend, to band together. Kun combines the fish radical with the phonetic kun, which means progeny or insect. Peng is the name of a large bird with a back countless thousands of miles across, and kun is the name of a large fish countless thousands of miles in length. These names are ironic. The dictionary meaning of kun is fish roe. The irony is that this fish is a speck of roe and yet is countless thousands of miles in size. The meaning of Peng has to be inferred. The Peng component of the logogram gives the meaning that this bird is a friend or is one of a group. The irony is that this bird is one of a group and yet is countless thousands of miles in size. Peng was a variant Chinese character for Feng, or Chinese phoenix. All right, known members: pure-blooded illuminated beasts. Okay, we already kind of read through this. Okay, Yakshas, mixed ancestry. Trivia: in Chinese mythology, Qilin are one-horned beasts with a dragon-like appearance, although details about their appearance vary greatly with different dynasties and regions. Genshin uses the Buddhist-influenced depictions of Qilin as peaceful and benevolent creatures who will not eat flesh or harm living beings, and only appear in areas ruled by wise and benevolent rulers. While peaceful by nature, Qilin will defend the innocent from the wicked. Qilin are seen as symbols of immortality, good fortune, and sometimes fertility. Tales of Qilin leaving a baby at a family's doorstep was integrated into records of Jeyun Qilin. While mythological Qilin only have one horn, Genshin depicts Qilin with two horns. Zhaishi are also Chinese mythological beasts, often depicted as ox or goat-like creatures with a single long horn. They are seen as symbols of justice and law who can instinctively distinguish right from wrong. A Zhaishi will point out the faulty party by either ramming them with its horn or biting them. Oh, so that's why Yanfei is like a lawyer, because like it's part of the lore of the beast that she's kind of... Okay, that's actually really cool. Chi-Chi uses the term Adepti Beast to describe the ultimately fictional COCOGOAT. This term is rendered in the Chinese version as half-Xian Beast. Etymology: like the Adepti, the first character in the Chinese name for illuminated beasts is Xian, a term that refers to Taoist immortals. In Chinese art, Xian are often depicted with symbols of longevity, including dragons, cranes, white deer, and foxes. The first three have been mentioned as illuminated beasts and or adepti. Moirax's Exuvia takes the form of a dragon, Cloud Retainer and Mountain Shaper are cranes, and Moon Carver and Skybracer are deer, albeit not pure white ones. Very interesting. Okay, that was cool. Let's go ahead and hop all the way back to Miss Ganyu's page and learn a little bit more about her personal lore now that we have some solid groundwork for her race and species. The secretary to the Liyue Qixing, the blood of both human and illuminated beast flows within her veins. Graceful and quiet by nature, yet the gentle disposition of Qilin sees not even the slightest conflict with even the most arduous of workloads. After all, Ganyu firmly believes that all the work she does is in honor of her contract with Rex Lapis, seeking the well-being of all living things within Liyue. Character stories. Character details. Though many in Liyue are fascinated by life in Yujing Terrace, its day-to-day operations and rules are a mystery to them. They are aware that the Liyue Qixing are the cream of the crop who hold the fate of the city in their hands, but the calculations and data behind the Qixing's every decision are far harder to grasp. The people understand that the new policies announced each year will change the dynamics of the market, yet none can comprehend how policy is plucked from complex meeting minutes and compiled into something easier on the human eye. As the secretary of Yuhai Pavilion, Ganyu undertakes many tasks that ordinary folk do not see. For those that have witnessed her standing by the dock at daybreak, enjoying her breakfast in silence, it is difficult to imagine her in such a post. Even still, By the time the sun has fully risen, she will have returned to Yuhai Pavilion, overlooking Yujing Terrace, to continue to fulfill her contract. A contract that she signed 3,000 years ago with Rex Lapis. Character Story 1. Ganyu is not the secretary of any one leader in the Liyue Qixing, but is instead the general secretary for the entire organization. Under her gentle exterior, Ganyu is as persevering as stone itself. This was something that Rex Lapis, the leader of the Adepti, noticed very early on. Thus, when the Liyue Qixing first emerged ages ago, Ganyu was their secretary. Through the years and the changes in the Qixing's roster, Ganyu has remained by their side as a constant. This has also meant that the mountainous piles of paperwork from the various departments and bureaus in Liyue have fallen upon Ganyu's shoulders. But though her workload has increased 7, 100, or even 1,000-fold, her sense of responsibility has never wavered. Someone once queried as to the source of her motivation and received an answer that was not quite congruous with the question. What I've done is nothing compared to what Rex Lapis has accomplished. A lot of reverence for Rex Lapis. Character Story 2, Friendship Level 3. I work for the well-being of all living things in Liyue. Under almost all circumstances, Ganyu is a very trustworthy secretary. It is hard to imagine anyone outperforming her in the face of such enormous workload, especially given her unique and penetrating insights into all of Liyue's matters. Nevertheless, her reliability can only be guaranteed under almost all circumstances. The more important the matter, the more Ganyu strives for perfection, and the more nervous she becomes. Under pressure, her nervousness does result in the occasional error. One such incident occurred during the Rite of Dissension, without doubt the most important annual event in Liyue's calendar. Ganyu was 3 minutes late for the rite and had to squeeze through the crowd in full view of all. Later on, with a face as red as a tomato, she stammered her way through an unconvincing explanation, all the while apologizing profusely to Rex Lapis in her heart. Her colleagues guessed that there must have been some reason for the mistake. Those who did not know her well saw that Rex Lapis did not mind, and thus paid the incident no attention. Those closest to her worried in private and asked if she needed a workload adjustment or a short vacation, but Ganyu refused. I spent 2 hours making sure that I wasn't wearing anything too similar I spent 2 hours making sure that I wasn't wearing anything too similar to last year's rite. Needless to say, Ganyu was not about to admit to this being the real reason for her tardiness. Character Story 3, Friendship Level 4. How long is 1,000 years? Long enough for the glazed lilies that once teemed throughout Duhua Marsh to be wiped out by floodwaters, and long enough for the thriving settlement that sprung up upon Guili Plains to come to ruin in war. How short is 1,000 years? To Ganyu, it has felt shorter than a blink of an eye. Throughout a passage of time unimaginable to mortals, Ganyu has been working on all manner of things at Yujing Terrace. She recorded the razings and demolishing of every building and witnessed the rise to prosperity of every industry. Ganyu's sense of objectivity towards the passage of time comes from the endless reams of data she must troll through, and from the ever-increasing number of colors she finds that she needs to categorize it all. All this time, her mindset has never changed. She constantly wavers between her human and Adeptus halves. On one hand, Ganyu the Qilin finds it difficult to comprehend mortal squabbles, but on the other hand, her human blood reminds her always to hold out hope that she might someday be able to fit in. Character Story 4, Friendship Level 5. Outside the confines of her work, Ganyu very quickly shows how different she is from most other people. She has a habit of taking afternoon naps and has a shockingly accurate internal clock. When lunch hour arrives, no matter where she is, she will simply curl up into a ball and fall asleep on the spot. Even the raucous dancing of hilichurls will fail to wake her. These habits were at first just a running joke within the Liyue Qixing, but once, after accompanying the then Tianshuan to lunch outside the city, a well-fed Ganyu simply crawled into the nearest roadside haystack. She ended up being transported all the way to Duhua Marsh, awakening only after bumping her head during the unloading. Unable to find Ganyu anywhere over the subsequent 3 hours, and knowing that she would not depart unannounced, the Tianhuan almost filed a missing person report. After receiving a stern admonishment to only take afternoon naps where it's safe, Ganyu retorted, "Well, isn't everywhere in Liyue safe?" Perhaps with the mixture of human and illuminated beast blood flowing through her veins, Ganyu's understanding of the world's affairs is a little different to that of most humans. I also kind of assume that might have to do, like, her thinking everywhere is safe is her reverence for Rex Lapis, and that under his guidance, like, how could Liyue not be safe? Character story 5, friendship level 6. Ganyu's Qilin heritage is little known in Liyue Harbor. Whenever she is asked by someone walking along Feiyun Slope as to the obvious protrusions in her hair, she says that they are ornamental heirlooms. If I told them the truth, they would distance themselves from me. Despite never having been on particularly close terms with Liyue's citizens in the first place, Ganyu would still not consider distancing to be a good thing. Her more important reason for hiding the truth is to prevent curious onlookers from touching her Qilin horns. After all, a Qilin's horns are a sensitive part of their body, both physically and mentally speaking. Another secret that Ganyu is anxious to keep hidden is the fact that she is watching her physique. The Qilin are strict vegetarians, but Liyue is a veritable powerhouse of gastronomical delights, one in which even vegetarians struggle to control their appetites. Ganyu, who has grown accustomed to city life, is thus very vigilant in matters concerning her weight and physique. Whenever she finds herself being drawn towards some delicious dish, she will attempt to reassert her self-control. For Ganyu, the difficulty of such a challenge is second only to finding a flaming flower atop Dragonspine, but she is not one to give up halfway through the ascent. During the Archon War, she once choked a giant monster to death with ease after getting lodged in its throat when it tried to eat her, said monster having fatally underestimated quite how wide her waistline was. What? For Ganyu, avoiding any similarly embarrassing episodes in the future is an absolute must. Was she in her fully transformed form, or was she like in her human form? Because wait, she's half, right? Can she transform? Now I'm confused. The Flora of Yujing Terrace, friendship level 4. Handwritten notes detail the morphological features and behaviors of the plants in Yujing Terrace, with each beautiful stroke penned by Ganyu's own hand. The notes are succinct, comprehensive, and well categorized, and even offer some insights that one would be hard-pressed to find elsewhere on the market. These include pointers on caring for glaze lilies and methods for grafting silk flowers. In readability and scientific accessibility, they come close to the standard of official publications. Or rather, this is the experience if one starts reading from the front. Skip to near the end, however, and one may well be left dumbfounded. The final few pages are a shocking rash of black ink and frantically scribbled out text. Reading patiently and painstakingly between the lines, one might just discover that these notes were, at one time, various methods for vegetable cultivation. But if I learn to grow vegetables, I'll be even less able to control my appetite. Her hands balling into fists, it was with much difficulty that Ganyu erased the results of her research. Later, whilst watering the plants on an empty stomach, Ganyu found herself plunging her head into a thicket of silk flowers, fantasizing that they were sweet flowers in an effort to comfort herself. Oh my gosh, many more fantasy sweet flowers followed shortly afterward during her afternoon nap. She shouldn't, I feel like if you really want to eat that badly, like, you shouldn't stop yourself. She's like torturing herself. She doesn't even want to grow veggies. She's stopping herself from eating veggies. I feel like she should just let herself have some veggies, you know what I mean? Vision, friendship level 6. Qilin are paragons of benevolence among the Adepti, drinking only fresh water and eating only plants. Flies they will not hurt, and a bruised reed they will not break. They do not travel abroad, do not gather in herds, and no trap will hold them. They are leisurely yet composed, active but reserved, a gentle and elegant race. Yet when a wicked beast from the sea arose and threatened the land beneath their feet, that peaceful life ceased to be an option. 3,000 years ago, Ganyu answered the call of Morax, the god of Geo, aiding him in the Archon Wars, and when the war was over, she chose to stay in Liyue and help the humans build a better polity there. The first Liyue Qixing would need support, and she took this task up as a matter of course, becoming their secretary. The moment she made that decision, a vision appeared at her hip, granting her power to resonate with the world to a degree beyond her natural abilities. Whether she would grow strong enough to no longer need it, or whether she would use it as a last resort in Liyue's defense, regardless, she chose to serve as the bridge between Adepti and humans. Her vision, then, was proof and witness of her new duty. Name card, okay. Do no harm to plant nor insect. Chinese unicorn. Very cool. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to some of these character stories.
Privately, Ganyu and I get on like a house on fire. But as you know, she's the secretary to the Liyue Qixing, and I'm not exactly in their good books right now. Doesn't bother me, but I wouldn't want to put Ganyu in a difficult position. So just keep what I said between us, yeah?
That's really unexpected. What? Interesting. Okay.
Who knows what Rex Lapis must have done to inspire such blind devotion from Ganyu. But her reluctance to be critical is not without its advantages. In the workplace, she'll carry out my instructions to the letter, even when I can tell she has her reservations. It's a good attitude to have as a career professional.
It makes sense that Qilin kind of sees it that way.
I find myself getting a second opinion from her a lot these days. Lots of things come up that I just have no idea about. And of everyone in Liyue, she's probably the most familiar with Rex Lapis. I feel a bit awkward though, because I used to be openly disparaging of Rex Lapis in front of her. But she doesn't seem to mind, so I guess I've got nothing to worry about.
Okay, progress.
One cannot afford to be overly reliant on others, even when it comes to Ganyu. There is a Liyue saying which goes, even the most meticulous can fall prey to happenstance. When there are important affairs to deal with, it is always safer to investigate and resolve them personally.
Yep, that's canon. That lines up.
I've heard many stories about her from my master. She's really quite different from how I originally imagined her. But don't worry, I'll be keeping this to myself. Speaking of Ganyu, her work in Liyue Harbor is unbelievably busy. It seems that there is a price to pay for those who want to integrate into the mortal world.
I wonder what she originally imagined her to look like or to be like, you know what I mean? That's really interesting.
What are you mulling over, Paimon?
Do you remember Goro's fluffy ears? Paimon really wants something like that. Oh, or maybe horns similar to the ones Ganyu has. Ganyu's horns are pretty cute as well. Do you have any ideas?
Let me see. Oh, I found something.
Really? Aw, Paimon always knew you were reliable.
Ta-da! I present to you the tusk of Monoceros Cheli.
Paimon doesn't need that. If Paimon can't have Goro's fluffy ears, then maybe at least something like his fluffy tail.
Bum-ba-da-da! Here you go. Tail of Boreas.
Not that! Also, combining those two is definitely not the look Paimon is going for.
Well, them just being silly, as per usual. Not a lot of lore, but...
Ganyu? Oh yeah! I remember her! Vegetarian, right? She doesn't come to the Wanmin restaurant very often, but when she does, she sits alone in the corner and eats her meal in total silence. Poor girl, she seems kind of lonely. I always give her an extra large portion because I feel sorry for her. Funniest thing is, she eats every last bite. Every time! I wouldn't have guessed she'd have such an appetite just by looking at her.
Homegirl needs to let herself eat.
Ganyu is neither mortal nor illuminated beast. Wandering both the mortal and Adepti realms with duty as her sole guide, it was inevitable that she would become perplexed. What, me? You believe a yaksha who knows nothing more than how to massacre countless souls and emerge unscathed is a suitable mentor for such an individual? Your mind occupies a very different world from that which your body inhabits.
I actually think Xiao was a wonderful mentor. Like, he was very, to the point. I don't know, I liked it.
Now that you mention it, it's been a while since I last saw Ganyu. Before the Sakoku decree came into effect, the two of us would often meet to discuss bilateral relations between our two nations. I always found her quite reliable. The next time you go to Liyue, take her some more fresh sea Ganoderma for me.
I still don't know how they met. I really am curious about that. I really am.
Ganyu is kind and thoughtful. It's just a shame she's so busy all the time. Most of the time, she's buried in an endless pile of paperwork, the only exception being her nap at noon. Don't get me wrong, I have to put in some hours at work too, but I'm happy with the job I've chosen, and it's certainly a lot less taxing than hers.
Okay, respect from Yuan-Fei to Ganyu, as is appropriate.
Ganyu always has a lot of work to do. I heard that one time, she was so tired she accidentally fell asleep on the grass. I do worry about her, you know. Maybe we could go do a surprise inspection. You know, check in and make sure she's taking care of herself. Oh, wait a minute. I'll go get some of her favorite plants for her to eat.
Ah, the secretary. I could never work non-stop like she does. Certainly not at that level of efficiency. I guess being half Adeptus must have its perks. Imagine not needing sleep to regain your energy levels.
She said, glad that's not me.
Liyue's prosperity has not merely been built on Rex Lapis's oracles or wisdom. It is also thanks to the countless servants of the Geo-Archon who have honored their end of the contract. Of them, Ganyu is the one who has served for the longest time. If you want to know about her past, you should ask her about it. I fear my wording would not be delicate enough to receive her approval.
God, that sounded so fond. That's so sweet. I loved that. Okay, birthday mail. I've been thinking. I've heard my colleagues say that among humans, birthdays are very special and are important occasions to be celebrated. They are days to go to places where you normally wouldn't go and spend more on things you wouldn't normally buy. Only then would they be considered birthdays. But for me, the passage of time is a trivial thing. I'm always very busy on my birthdays, and they always go by the same way every year. During my nap today, you unexpectedly appeared in my dream. You said something to me with a smile. Unfortunately, I can't seem to remember what you said after I woke up. Maybe it's a sign that there's something you want to tell me? Perhaps I should take this opportunity to meet you. Either way, I've prepared a gift according to Liyue customs. Here are some Qingxin seeds so you can experience the joy of planting and harvesting. Ah, there's no more room left to write about tips on planting and tending, but it's alright. Let's just discuss it when we meet. Okay, and then the second one, moon gazing. Lately, the other secretaries at Yuhai Pavilion have been working hard and are handling many of the affairs, so I'm less busy than usual at the end of the year. I'm not used to having free time, so I find myself not knowing what to do. I heard that it is a pleasant experience to admire the moon and to clear one's mind over a cup of tea with a friend after work. Would you mind accompanying me under the moonlit breeze tonight? Please don't feel obliged to agree. Being able to have a quiet and peaceful moment in the midst of my busy schedule has made me very happy. I've prepared tea that I often drink at Yuhai Pavilion, and it's complementary ingredients that help soothe the mind. I hope you will like it. Very cute. Okay. Trivia. According to Zhangling, Ganyu has a surprisingly large appetite. Zhangling and Chef Mao give her an extra large portion of food on the occasions she eats at Wanmin restaurant, but she always manages to finish it. Ganyu leaves her own message on the Wangshu Inn bulletin board, albeit anonymously. Cloud Retainer said that when Ganyu was young, she loved it when her horns were caressed. She also reveals that Ganyu's first encounter with a human was bumping into a pilgrim while falling down a mountain. The experience scared her so much that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days. Looking at her character for a period of time causes her to blush. Ganyu's Chinese voice actress is one of the directors of Genshin Impact's Chinese voice actors. Oh, she's also the Chinese voice actress of Jean. There are contradictions regarding when Ganyu signed her contract with Rex Lapis. Ganyu tells the traveler she signed her contract with Rex Lapis shortly after the Archon War ended around 2,000 years ago. Her character profile states she signed the contract 3,000 years ago during the Archon War. Zhangli says Ganyu has served the longest of those who honor a contract with Rex Lapis. However, there are other Adepti whose contracts predate the 2 times given for Ganyu's. Rex Lapis founded Liyue Harbor and signed the first contracts to defend it with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. After relocating the people from the destroyed Guili Assembly, Cloud Retainer, Mooncarver, Mountain Shaper, and a Qilin, who may be Ganyu herself or another individual, were among those who made that journey. In the Chinese translation of her character's story, Uncle Tian refers to her as older sister Ganyu, citing it a childhood name despite the former looking much more advanced in age, which showcases how much Ganyu has remained unchanged over the years. Ganyu is known by these aliases or titles: Little Miss Ganyu, in Chinese older sister Ganyu by Uncle Tian. In her voiceover Feelings About Ascension conclusion, Ganyu mentions a quote from an ancient text saying, "Only when days be darker than the darkest night may a Qilin be compelled to fight." In the Chinese version, the corresponding quotation, which translates to the term the battle of a female Qilin, refers to no light in the sun, that is, eclipse. The text is from a Chinese esoteric book written during the Han Dynasty. Okay, cool. Etymology: Ganyu's name literally means sweet rain, but as a phrase, it refers to timely rainfall, such as rain after a long drought. Her constellation, Sine Unicornis, is Latin for Chinese unicorn, another Western name / descriptor for the Qilin. Okay, sweet. Let's go ahead and listen to her voice lines now and see what Miss Ganyu has to say.
Copy that. Here is a draft service agreement for your review and consideration. Effective immediately if all is in order. Ah, wait a sec. I forgot to sign it. Ganyu. There. Right. Now, what was it you needed me to do for you exactly? It's so nice to de-stress. If you lie on the grass, you can feel the heartbeat of the world.
Is she talking about hearing the ley line roots?
Should we really be off work this early? There is still a lot left to do. Oh, good. I was just thinking that the silk flowers at the Feiyun Commerce Guild needed watering. The transport coordinators will probably moan about the muddy mountain roads again, though.
She does like her flowers.
It is something of a luxury, but I love listening to the rain from the courtyard.
I love the sound of rain too. No cap.
Oh, the sun's out. When did that happen? Ah, the air is just right. Ah, I love the smell of glazed lilies. Morning. What's wrong? Is there something stuck in my hair? Oh, please don't stare at my hairpiece.
Aww.
Oh, I need a nap. If there aren't any urgent matters, I'll excuse myself. Look how brightly lit the city is at night. Amazing. I wonder what it's like for all the people down there. No thanks. I think I'll pass on the night market.
She said, yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not going down there.
May Rex Lapis watch over you. May your dreams be peaceful and sweet.
That's cute.
My job is to honor my contract with Rex Lapis by looking out for the interests of all living things in Liyue.
She really reveres him, like a lot.
I finished all my assignments early today. Overtime? I understand. I'll get right on the case. I want to understand more about humans, and I especially wish to hear what you think of them. Why, you ask? Because you're a bit different from most people in Teyvat, just as I am. Please tell me what you think.
I would love to know what Lumine thinks. Same, Ganyu.
So yeah, I was wondering what your opinion is on my work so far. Would you say I'm more of a common chest or more of a luxurious chest? It's fine. I can take it.
Aww.
With authority over 1,000 comes responsibility to 1,000. Rex Lapis knows the meaning of hardship better than anyone else in Liyue. He has seen everything that has happened from ancient times to the present day, and yet he was forced to give up his entire life. Compared to him, I'm just an everyday vision holder with everyday responsibilities. I can't complain about my workload.
It's another thing that adds to Zhongli's mysticism and like what all he has actually done.
Where merchants flock and all ships dock, and over the oceans flows its stock. People say this in praise of Liyue's prosperity.
But a city only becomes this successful through everyone playing their part diligently. That's the attitude I take to my work. I want to be worthy of what we enjoy here.
I'm pretty sure you're plenty worthy, honey.
I've named every single doggy living in Liyue.
Oh.
They're so funny. Some of them still respond even when you call them the completely wrong name. How fascinating is that? Like if people were to call me Bantu, how am I supposed to know they're talking to me? No way would I respond. Qingxin flower petals are pretty tasty. Incredibly tasty, actually. The only reason I don't plant any at Yujing Terrace is because they taste so good that I worry I wouldn't be able to control myself. Huh? Bitter? Yes, they are. Isn't that what they're supposed to taste like?
Oh, bitter flower petals, Lord.
I have absolute faith in Rex Lapis. It was only through his leadership that we were able to repel the monsters and subdue the sea creatures, and thus protect the peace of Liyue. The sight of him protecting the masses, and the memory of our centuries of camaraderie, I shall never forget.
I hope one day we get to like see that visually. Oh gosh, that would be so cool.
All of Rex Lapis's decisions prioritize the welfare of all life in Liyue. That's what I admire about him the most. I want to live up to the same standard, but it seems that the harder I try to follow in his footsteps, the more overwhelmed I get and the more mistakes I make.
Oh, he's made mistakes too, I'm sure.
Each Tianquan adds their own interpretation and amendments to the founding laws of Liyue. The current one, Ningguang, does it with unmatched efficiency, but that efficacious manner of hers draws a great deal of criticism. I suppose it is always simpler to criticize than to tolerate. I cannot stand her disrespectful attitude towards Rex Lapis. But he says to me, Ganyu, this is just the kind of person Liyue needs in this day and age. I guess I'm not smart enough because I simply do not understand what he means by that. I think I need more life experience to become wise enough to comprehend his words.
Wow.
She came to me recently to discuss the reopening of the Bishui trade route. She even asked me what Rex Lapis would do if it were him. Admittedly, what we came up with was not quite on par with what he would have chosen. But seeing the way she kept starting her plan from scratch over and over again, I think I started to understand
It's interesting,
her a little
both her and Keqing talk about each other and like they have different perspectives once they get to know each other.
You mean the boy in the blue jacket from the Feiyun Commerce Guild? He's nothing like his father and brother. Doesn't seem to care about the textile business at all. Seems it's because, as far as he's concerned, there are more important things for him to be doing. Of course, I'm merely speculating.
Well, you're not wrong. He does care about other things aside from business stuff.
Xiangling is a celebrity. But I try to avoid her restaurant. Just because. No reason. Okay, fine. It's not a big secret anyway. It's because you can smell her cooking all the way from the other end of the street. And once you get a whiff, I mean, that's it. You're gone. Next thing you know, you're ordering your second, maybe third round. You just can't control it. Even though I only eat the vegetarian dishes, I don't know what it is. But that is not a road I want to go down again. Not after...
Girl, just have some veggies. You're gonna be fine. It's okay.
Recently, everyone in Yujing Terrace has been saying nasty things about the Crux fleet. But in my personal opinion, Beto's contribution to Liyue Harbor goes far beyond what those miserable, rumor-loving heathens could even contemplate. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure how that one slipped out.
Oh wow, she likes Beto. Okay.
Yao Yao. Someone I know at the Ministry of Civil Affairs tasked me with keeping an eye on her in the city. making sure she doesn't try and sneak aboard the Crux. Oh, you want to know what the Ministry of Civil Affairs does? Who knows, am I right? Who knows what they do? Not me. He seems like a bit of an outsider socially. Probably just his personality. I can understand that, to be honest, but I'm not really about to try and get close to him. I mean, all the people he's ever agreed to team up with are no longer with us.
Wow. A lot of sympathy for Zhao, huh?
Ah, Yanfei. Even back when she was an innocent little girl, she would tell me that you have to keep your promises to live a happy life. Now she's grown up to be a beautiful, graceful, and highly successful young woman. Although the work of a legal advisor is complicated, she always seems so carefree. This puts my mind at ease.
Respect for Yanfei, okay.
I actually don't know her all that well. I've only heard bits and pieces from Cloud Retainer. From what I've heard, she can be quite ferocious. Whenever her temper gets the better of her, she is likely to start obliterating her surroundings. I wonder if maybe she's just bored. Should I recommend some work to keep her occupied?
Honestly, Shenhe would probably like to be integrated in a little bit, so...
Even though Miss Yelan is absent from work for the majority of the year, I'm sure Lady Ningguang must have her reasons for making exceptions for her. Of course, it wouldn't be my place to ask, so I don't know the details of their arrangement. I remember seeing her one day on my way back to Yuehai Pavilion. She was having breakfast with a group of people. They were all talking and laughing, eating, drinking tea. I must admit, I found myself feeling a little envious in that moment.
Oh, interesting.
You have a last-minute job for me? Okay, sorry, please don't try and explain it all verbally. Write it down. Leave a note here. I'll get to it as soon as possible.
She said, leave your message at the tone.
Let's see. I want to understand Ganyu better. What sort of request is that? I've never done this before. Okay, I can, run you through my annual review from last year? That should bring you up to speed on me. No good? Oh, okay then.
Not her offering her work report.
I've had a long, hard think, and I've realized that so long as it's for a work-related matter, there's really nothing for me to be embarrassed about. So if you really need to understand me more, this, hairpiece, it's actually my horns. That's right. I'm part illuminated beast. Qilin, to be exact. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, please sign this non-disclosure agreement for me. And don't tell us all.
Wow, not her living up to Morax's standards. Be like, hey, we have a contract. You can't tell nobody about me.
Even though I'm part Qilin, I'm still part human too. Still, all these years I've been asking myself the same question. Do I really belong in the human world? Maybe I'm just like a dendro slime hiding in the earth, burying myself in numbers and reports in order to escape reality.
Aw, poor baby. You do have a place.
Thank you for always making time to chat with me. I feel like I must have spoken more after meeting you than I have in the last 10 years put together. If I keep going like this, maybe one day I'll be able to move on to something other than secretarial work. Now that I've got a few hundred years of experience under my belt, I should be able to avoid any more major mistakes.
A few hundred years, yeah, just a few.
My hobby. I would say my job. What? Why don't jobs count as hobbies? I thought hobbies are supposed to be things you look forward to doing, and that make you feel good when you've done them. That describes my job perfectly. So what's the issue?
Workaholic alert. Workaholic alert.
I don't understand why people insist on going all out to try and prove how their existence is more valuable than everyone else's. To exist in the first place is a beautiful thing, and that's enough, isn't it?
What a lovely way to think.
Drink only spring water, eat only whole grains. That's my motto. So I would be grateful if you could please remove that treacherously enticing-looking plate of delicacies from my field of view. Much obliged. Qilins are strict vegetarians, so please do not take offense when I decline meat dishes. Yes, that includes your vegetable fritters, since they have been fried in animal fat. Thanks, but I can't. I'm afraid I really can't. I don't mean to argue, it's just I have a keen sense of smell.
You know
so
what?
I
She
know
sounds
how
more
they've
like
been
a
cooked.
vegan than a vegetarian. Like strictly no animal byproducts.
Such authentic delicacies. Oh no. I think I might have eaten too much. I'm somewhat of a picky eater. Sorry you went to all this trouble. I appreciate the thought, but meat's not really my thing. Many happy returns. After all the times you've looked out for me, I didn't even remember to get you a gift. Oops. Silly me, What's that behind my back? Oh, you saw it then. It's a failed attempt at making a Qingxin flour cake. I wanted it to be perfect, but... Oh, you think it tastes good? Do you really?
Aw. Flour cake sounds good.
Power? Now there's a key performance indicator I haven't needed in a long time. Could we maybe find a peaceful resolution instead? Never mind, doesn't matter. I suppose this is the new way of life then. I'm not going to complain. I'll try to embrace it. I remember reading in an ancient text that only when days be darker than the darkest night may a Qilin be compelled to fight. That's a massive exaggeration, but should the time come for battle, and should you need me, then I will give it every ounce of my strength.
Wow, very profound. Very profound.
No touching! Access denied. Born of ice and frost. All hail! Glaze over! This is long overdue! For Rex Lapis!
Wow.
We're way behind schedule. Next on the agenda... healthy body, healthy mind. There's nothing wrong with reaping a reward every now and then. Beautiful treasures are a cause for great happiness. Perhaps whoever left these behind was also fulfilling a contract.
Oh, there's the contracts again.
I'm just way out of practice. Did I miscalculate? I'm a little low on energy. Please, step back. Excuse me. Plan first, then execute. Rex Lapis, I am sorry.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
My contract goes unfulfilled.
Oh.
Must press on. Didn't see that coming. I can fix this. Time to begin work? What are my orders? As per our contract.
Oh, she has a contract with us too, I guess. She really is a fan of Rex Lapis, huh? All right, no extra outfits. All right, let's go ahead and listen to her teapot dialogue with high companionship and see what she has to say.
Hello. If you have any outstanding work, feel free to delegate it to me. I think it's beautiful here. It must have been quite an undertaking to decorate such a large space. Thank you for all your efforts. In my spare time, I particularly enjoy taking strolls outside. It's so quiet and peaceful. Even at midday, it's perfectly safe to take a nap.
You definitely don't need to worry about safety here.
Agreed. So I really do like it here. Please don't worry. I've slept like this every day for at least 1,000 years. Anyway, thanks so much once again.
Would you like to chat?
But I may not be able to offer any practical advice if our topic of discussion is not work-related. Oh, all right. You know, I used to agonize a lot over whether to try and integrate into human society. When our workload is light, my coworkers sometimes organize social events. But my strict vegetarian diet is completely different from everyone else's. And I don't really share their interest in shopping or lively forms of entertainment. Sometimes they can be quite critical.
People say that my whole mindset is just fundamentally different from an ordinary person's. But what can I do? It's hard to change your habits when they've been that way for thousands of years. Then it would only be proper for me to offer you something in return. Shall I take you out? For a meal? In a restaurant?
We're friends, there's no need for formality.
Okay, duly noted. Great. With your help, I'm sure I'll be able to integrate into human society in no time.
Alright, friendship level 7.
I thought maybe we could plant some flowers together. Or some other plants, like vegetables. Yes, indeed. You could say it's my greatest hobby, aside from work. Though in the past, I've been reluctant to grow vegetables. I always worried that I wouldn't be able to control my appetite and I'd end up eating them all in one sitting.
I've never seen you grow vegetables before.
That's because I've always feared I wouldn't be able to control my appetite and that I'd end up eating all the vegetables I grew in one sitting. But I'm sure that if I grow them together with you, I'll definitely be able to control myself.
It wouldn't be such a big deal if you ate them.
No, you don't understand. I put on weight very easily, and if my appearance changed, then perhaps... I mean, the way people see me, well, the way you see me...
would remain unchanged. Exactly.
Still, I think it would be best to share them with you. You know, first rule of gardening, grow together, eat together.
I'll eat them with you then. That's cute.
Great. And, you'll help me plant them too, right? First rule of gardening, grow together, eat together. Anyway, I'll go, fetch some seeds. I'll make sure they're the very best.
Cute. She shouldn't worry about her weight so much.
Where are you off to today? Is it far? My schedule is actually free right now. Whether it's an ad hoc assignment or any other task, I'm free to assist. Oh, I forgot to say, good morning. Good night to you as well. For once, I don't need to work overtime at night. Huh. What a strange feeling.
Alright, special dialogue time.
A big bed and a soft pillow, appropriate lighting, and even a miniature tree for embellishment. One can certainly rest well in a room like this. I will try to finish all of my work before the sun comes up, and then have a good sleep. That smell, the fragrance of true Liyue cuisine. You must have put a lot of effort into finding these blueprints for Rain Calmer, yes? Your liking for Liyue also signifies your approval of my work. Thank you.
Well, how sweet. Alright then. Well, let's talk about her. Okay, so the only real theories that are like available, since we know, I feel like we know everything, like mostly everything about her, is that if she was the Qilin who accompanied Morax's people from the decimated Guili Plains to Liyue Harbor, because they said that Moon Carver and Mountain Shaper, they were all in their beast forms, and there was also a Qilin who also escorted everybody, but there's some, not misconception, but people think that maybe she was the Qilin, but she's half, and it said that half-blooded Qilin, or I should say Adepti and humans can't transform, like can't shapeshift like full-blooded ones can, so I wonder if it was like more, I don't know, is it like her parent that was the Qilin who did that? But Ganyu was around, so, and grown, I'm assuming, enough to fight when that occurred, so I'm not sure. I guess that's the only thing that is kind of speculated upon about Ganyu, as well as her contract with Rex Lapis and what exactly that was, because within the wiki page it said that she tells us that it was a certain time and Rex Lapis says it was a certain time, and then records in game say it's a separate time, so we have like 3 instances of like varying different information. So I'm wondering if that was just like the writers like forgetting their own lore, or if that's like purposeful, that some of the recorded information information and memories is different between characters. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's like another instance of that regarding other characters, but the fact that they all have different memories of that and that the recorded history is slightly different too is maybe something to keep note of, something maybe to just toss away as just writers, I don't know, messing up lore. I feel like that doesn't happen very often in this game though. I feel like the writers have a good understanding of their lore, but I don't know. It could be nothing, it could be something, but them having Ganyu and Morax having different memory of when the contract started is interesting. Possibly interesting if we take into account that that's a lore thing, that's like the fact that they remember that differently is a thing rather than the writers just forgetting their own lore. Miss Ganyu. Okay, I like Ganyu, you know, like she's a sweetheart. I feel like she's super down to earth and she means really well and she's super sweet. She's like an easily lovable character. I feel like you'd have to have a very specific reason to dislike her. Like, and I mean, that's valid too. Like you might just not even be interested in her, but I feel like she's hard to hate is what I mean. Because she's just such a lovely person, you know, she tries so hard, she's a workaholic, she's a little bit naive, she's very innocent, but also will, you know, bare her teeth if she needs to protect what she believes deserves her protection. She is very reverent of Morax or Rex Lapis / Zhongli, and it sounds like he's also very fond of her, so that's nice to see. And I think the way in which she reveres him, and not just because he's an Archon, but whenever she talks about, like, whenever she praises him, it's always coming from a place of admiring his decisions and like how he chooses to lead and how he protects Liyue and keeps everyone safe and how he treats his subordinates, i.e. like the other Adepti, the Yakshas and that kind of thing. It's always coming from like an actual evaluation of him as a being rather than him just being an Archon. So that's kind of nice that she isn't like super reverent blindly. It's coming from a place of like genuine admiration. I also like that even like the little interactions with Keqing or characters that have different opinions than her, she never comes across as belligerent about correcting them. Like she has these really strong opinions, or I should say principles, about Zhongli or Morax, Rex Lapis as she knows him, or other like principles regarding like Liyue and contracts, and or like how she thinks, you know, she should go about her life, or you know what I mean. But she doesn't like, she might disagree fervently with people, but it's not like antagonistic. Like she definitely disagreed with like Keqing, for example, but then they showed that like each of them had like two parts to their discussion, or I guess opinion on each other, and it like the first one is kind of like at odds, and then the second one is kind of, they come around to each other. And especially Ganyu, like she still doesn't quite understand why Keqing has this like really strong belief that like they don't need the Adepti, or at least Ganyu thought that Keqing not wanting Adepti help or even Morax's guidance was like her attempting to slander Rex Lapis. And then I think she realized that's not what it was, and that there was more to Keqing's beliefs than just like wanting to be disrespectful, because that's not what Keqing's about, right? That's not her character. But I like that it showed that like in these little interactions that Ganyu, even if she doesn't fully understand something, she doesn't feel the need to like immediately disregard it. I also like her interactions with Cloud Retainer. I do wish though that we got some more interactions with the other Adepti. Like Ganyu was literally there for everything. Like she was fighting alongside Cloud Retainer and Mountain Shaper and Moon Carver. I really just wish we got to see them all interact. Like that we only really got to see all of the Adepti interact in like the Liyue Archon quest, and since then nothing. Like Cloud Retainer showed up in Shenhe's quest, but she was the only one who like interacted with us. It's always Cloud Retainer, which is nice. She's kind of like the chatty aunt, right? She likes to talk about like her friends and who she, you know, has, you know, held guidance over or jurisdiction over, like with Shenhe. Like it's nice and it's part of her personality that she's kind of chatty, but I wish we just got more with the other Adepti. I'm glad Zhao was there. Seeing Zhao was really nice, but I feel like since Ganyu was integral to the history of Liyue alongside the other Adepti, it would have been nice to see their dynamic a little bit, just to get a better understanding of Ganyu and the Adepti in general. I don't know, I just think that would have been much more interesting than the, for some reason, fleshed out subplot of us like trying to prove this guy like evaded his taxes on a piece of furniture. Like there's no reason why we had to spend almost the majority of the second half of the quest literally going back and forth between a bunch of NPCs across Liyue's map, like teleporting back and forth just to confirm that this guy committed tax evasion. Like why? I understand they were trying to demonstrate Ganyu's specific skill set and that she was integral to her. She's integral in the role of, you know, the secretary to the Qixing, and that they wanted to also demonstrate that she's a comfort to like generations of people within the governmental process of Liyue. I get that, and I think that's actually really special that she's a comfort to people, and that people, and you know, they're like, my daughter, you know, can you help my daughter? And then his daughter was like, can you help my daughter? And it's this like generational thing where she's a part of so many people's lives, and she's, I love that. And I don't think that I think learning even more about that would have been interesting alongside more of the Adepti dynamic we should have gotten, I think, with the other Adepti, and we just didn't. So I just wish that we spent less time on the tax evasion and more time on like Ganyu's actual past and her personal relationships with the Adepti. Also the Qixing as well. Like we definitely at least should have seen Ningguang. We should have at least seen Keqing. Like I think interacting, or just even a pass by, like even one interaction would have just more completed Ganyu's world, right? Was the whole point of the quest, learning more about her and her world and what she experiences and what her day-to-day life is like. If we're gonna go slice of life like that, I feel like we definitely should have interacted with all the Adepti, and we definitely should have interacted with some of the Qixing. That's just my opinion. Again, less tax evasion and more personal dynamics, because the tax evasion stuff was absolutely boring. Ganyu isn't boring, but like for the reason why did they flesh out that part of the quest so much? Like we literally spent time and multiple dialogue interactions and long sequences talking to multiple NPCs. The random Fatui guy, like why was that there? And like, oh, I'm here to pick berries, like what? And then Ganyu thinking that that was like a sign that she like wasn't, her intuition was wrong, and then that plot point like never came up again, because like obviously she's fit for her role, right? I mean, maybe they were trying to like get her to doubt herself even more than she already did. So when we talked to the daughter of the of Uncle Tian, right, and she's like, you know, you're such an important part. I looked up to you all my life, even growing up. And now I wish you would look after my own daughter, who's also coming in to work at the Qixing. Like, I understand they were trying to make that moment important, but Ganyu was already like, she already thought that she didn't belong there, right? Like that was the whole thing. So them trying to like supplant more doubt in Ganyu's character with this like Fatui thing, I don't know, it just like, it was kind of messy, and like I don't know why it was there. I mean, maybe there was like, is there like is that in congruency to like an event, something that happened with the Fatui? Like it just felt so random that he was just there, and that it wasn't, it just, I don't know, I was just like suspicious of that. Like why was that there? It didn't really make a lot of sense, like narrative wise, within the context of the themes and motifs they were trying to like, they were obviously trying to push forward with Ganyu's character, at least within the confines of the character quest. So I don't know. I'm not sure what that was about. It felt messy. I feel like everything would have landed a little harder if they spent more time letting us kind of soak in the dynamic she had with the other Adepti and get appreciation for them and, you know, their part in things, that Ganyu was part of all that. Like, I feel like because she's humanoid and she's so humble about things, it's easy to forget that she was there and she fought in the mud and blood and storms and wars. Like, she was right there in the action on the front lines. So I think giving us an opportunity to really soak that in and see, you know, how she interacts with the other Adepti that we know and who are very serious and have this very, not ominous, but regal aura, right? Mountain Shaper and Moon Carver have this very grounded regalness to them, and to see them interact with Ganyu and show respect and equality in that sense would have helped raise some, I don't know, just interesting thoughts and let the players kind of like really luxuriate in the knowledge that she was there and she was part of all that. And it would have helped contrast this like humble smallness that she like she forces herself into this box, and the contrast between this like noble image of her in legend and who she is truly as a person would have just been like, it would just been interesting. And that to see that through all that time and all those years, she still remains a true pure heart. Like, I feel like that would showcase the beauty of her character more than like having her walk us through trying to evict someone of tax evasion. So I don't know. I'm trying not to repeat myself, but I think you get what I mean. I really like Ganyu. I think she's a lovely character. I like how learning about Liyue lore is always fun, and there's always so much there to learn about and stories and things. It's just cool. So meeting a character who's like integral to that is really nice. I just wish we got to know a little more about her in a more like well-rounded sense. Because I feel like we definitely got the basics across, but I feel like it could have just been presented a little better. Less tax evasion, more Ganyu. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you did, as always, I very much appreciate you spending your time with me. I love Ganyu. She's a sweetheart. I feel like most people do like Ganyu. I wish the quest writing was a little teensy bit better. The first half was okay. You know, it was good. I was invested. I liked interacting with Cloud Retainer and Zhao and learning more about her dynamic with them. The tax evasion, like I said, in the second half was less interesting, and I feel like didn't showcase her as well as I feel like it could have. I think I might have said it on my Discord, but I am planning to start streaming on Twitch at the end of April. Don't have a specific date, but my goal is the end of April. Like last week of April, I want to start. I'll have updates and stuff on that. I will be doing VODs, and I will be like pushing them over and uploading them onto YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that on this channel, if I'll make like a separate side channel with all my like my stream VODs. But I will definitely keep you updated on that. Just thought I'd put that out there as like a heads up for like the upcoming future. I'm so excited for Fontaine. We talk a lot about that in Discord and like Sumeru's stuff. The new update is coming. I'm so excited with like Baiju finally coming out of the dungeon, right? And we have Kave. I'm personally excited for Kave. I'm so excited for the story coming up in 3.6. I am so excited for the new exploration. The new desert looks so beautiful and amazing. I cannot wait to experience it. We discuss all that stuff and more in a Discord, and the link for that is in the description, as well as all my socials. I'm so sorry this video was so late, but I had stuff with work and I was stressed and I didn't want to rush putting out the video on Sunday because I didn't want it to drop in quality. So I just waited a couple days and put it together and released it today. So it did come, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on Ganyu. Please let me know what you think of Ganyu in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions, as I always do. Next week's video is Albedo's character quest. It's gonna be a little a little strange because at that point I hadn't watched the events yet, and since Albedo is a literal event character, that's what I call him, because he's like in none of the in none of the Archon quests, and you only really understand him if you have played through the events. So my introduction to him is stilted and odd, because I played all the quests first, like the character quests first, and then I watch the events. So a lot of my personal opinion, I should say, of Albedo is going to be in the character log of the event videos, because even I have to skip through, like when I'm reading his wiki, I just get lost, and I'm skipping through a bunch of stuff because I don't want to spoil myself. So his video is going to be slightly stilted. The full character quest obviously is going to be there, and I give my opinion of him from what I've received so far, but a lot of my thoughts on Albedo are not there. Just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. But he is next week. He's a sussy baka. But it'll be fun to share my initial reaction to his character with so little information about him. So anyway, excited to share that. I will see you guys in the next one.